We want Command Crush to be a place where a good player becomes great but also have fun. In order to do it, we need to set up expectations. Initially, I thought I can combine those players who would like to play lower bracket 3 with those who would like to play bracket 3++, but it turns out that it's almost impossible without giving too many restrictions, banning so many cards, and ultimately create very weird Magic format. Let me explain. The current bracket system is a very light guideline open for interpretation, and to make it more tangible, we believe that we need to focus on average deck win rate. In the highest level of bracket 5 CEDH, players with perfect hand can sometimes win the game on turn 1, while the other decks, we call them turbo, can win consistently on turn 2 or 3, which is way too early for a standard commander player. It's not fun to just go to the tournament, play one land, pass, and then lose the game. Then we have bracket 4, with no restrictions and all the cards available. On average, deck can win between 10-4 and 5. That's where bracket 3 comes in, when most players sits. The only problem is that the lower spectrum of bracket 3 can last as long as 10-6, 7-8, up to even 10-10 and more. The end of bracket 3 though is on average 10-6 or 7, and that's because experienced players, even with all the limitations that we put on them, are able to create consistent and efficient decks while using the skills and the experience to leverage the position in the game. That's why our judges have 3 main criteria while they judging the deck. Number 1 is the deck within the rules. Does it have maximum 3 non-land tutors per deck? Does it have no game changers and no fast mana, and so on? Number 2 is, can the deck consistently win before 10-6? And then the third point is, can the deck randomly win on turn 2, 3, and 4? And if that's so, more likely the deck will be rejected. And that's assuming that there is no interaction from other players. So what players can expect from top end of bracket 3? Number 1 is card quality. As players get more experience, they tend to lean to the cards that are useful in multiple scenarios. Higher quality cards simply give you flexibility, smoother gameplay, and consistent impact throughout the game. If a card feels dead in your hand, it might be a sign that it can potentially be upgraded. That's why some players are using more versatile cards. Let's take MDFC lands like Witch Enchanter, which you can either be a land or it can be also a removal. Or cards like Frantic Search that let you draw cards, discard cards to fill your graveyard, and also untap some lands to make this spell basically free. Help you to dig in more into your deck. Number 2, we have mana value. Magic the Gathering is the game of the resources. If you have more mana or more cards, then you have advantage over the other players. That's why more experienced players tend to have a lower curve deck, or at least a low 1 or 2 mana drops that help you ramp or add extra value over the time. In bracket 3+, low mana value cards means you will simply play more Magic than your opponents. Cheap cards help you develop early, cast multiple spells in one turn, and hold some interactions, which can lead to faster start, better recovery after disruption, and having more consistent hands. If your deck is full of expensive spells, you quite often fall behind before even you have a time to use them. That's why more experienced players are usually focused on 1, 2, or 3 mana value cards and having a little bit of finishers with more high mana value cards. The only example I can think of is Commander that is built specifically to have high value cards like Emoti, but then that would mean that you need to have more interactions to slow the game to your pace, which smoothly leads us to point number 3, which is interaction. As players improve, they tend to put more interactions into the deck, usually between 12 and 15 pieces. That helps them to remove the key threats and not falling behind. There is often a preference for flexible answers. Rather than have a removal that remove just one certain type like enchantment or artifacts, have cards like Generous Gifts or Beast Within that target any tournament, which can give you flexibility and options when you need to use it. More experienced players are also ready to deal with graveyard strategies, having a few dedicating pieces for graveyard hate that either stop graveyard from working or removing or exiling with cards like Deathrite Shaman or Tormod Script. That could give you a lot of value for very little price and potentially stop somebody from winning the game. Point number 4, we've got finisher. Experienced players have a clear strategy, A, B, or even sometimes C, to win the game. Sometimes dragging the game might seem like a good idea, but in fact is just giving your opponents more resources to stop you. Not to mention, there is only certain limit of time before the game ends in a draw. That's why carefully choosing finishers matters. If you have a creature-based deck, Crater Behemoth is a popular option. If you have a band deck, Gutter Snipe can finish the game while you're ahead before your opponents are able to stop you. Number 5, we've got mulligans, and this is in my opinion the most crucial skill that any player of Magic can have. Because the correct mulligan can not only get you ahead, but also give you an ability to respond to the current threat. What I notice is a lot of players are afraid of mulligan, while more experienced players don't mind going to 6, 5 or even 4 cards, because if your deck is built well, having strong 4 or 5 cards is better than having a weak 7. While mulligan is also important to notice where you sit and who is around you, who you play against. Are those fast decks? Do you need a bit more removal? Do you think that some deck could be a bit faster than you, or you are just the one that you just want protection to secure your win? Point number 6, we've got politics, and Commander is a social game, so skilled players are good with extracting table dynamics to get an advantage. Skilled players know when to make a deal, form a temporary alliance, or apply pressure in the right opponents without overcommitting. Understanding the table helps you to decide who to target, when to hold back, and when to push your advantage. Even with a strong decks, games can slip out of your hand if you ignore politics, because your opponents can react to the threats and they can coordinate against you. Point number 7 is strategy and stacks, which is building your game plan. Strategy is about giving your deck a clear identity and knowing how your pieces working together to secure your win. Strong players design their deck to excel while they stopping or slowing down the opponents. It might be a good idea to implement a few of stacks pieces such as Pillow Fort, which is basically a ghostly prison, or propaganda, which means that each player have to pay 2 mana for each creature that attacks you. That can buy you some time, or maybe even make it almost impossible for somebody to attack you. Or maybe you would like to play a bit slower and you would like to use Rule of Law effect, which is that each player can cast only 1 spell per turn. That could help you to protect your strategy and also slow everyone down while you are working towards your win con. Point number 8 is color fixing and proxies. We want to play against your brain and not against your wallet. That's why we encourage people to play proxies, and you will notice that people are having dual lands such as Tropical Island or Savannah to help them fix their mana colors, because most experienced players realize how important it is to have access to all your colors to ensure the smoother gameplay and allowing you to use the pieces that you need. Currently, you can use a website like NPC Field to order cards that are quite cheap, or you can go to DS Creative and cut cards for yourself to add those proxies that you are missing. And point number 9 is self-analyze. It's same everywhere else. More experienced player will see the value of reviewing their mistakes and assessing what they can do better to improve and just to become better player. So they are a bit more self-conscious and they are just putting simply more work into figure out how to get better. As you can see, there is so much more than just deck building skills. There is so much more elements into it. And if you're up for a challenge, if you just want to have fun and then see where's your skills at, come on the 3rd of May. We'll have our 5th Command Crush tournament, and all the details are on our website. See you then.